escalate or stop the situation or report the misconduct. Why does it matter? It's legal, legal consequence. Under federal law 42 U.S. Code 1983, officers can be held personally liable for civil suits for violation of this. There's a lot of things you need to think about. You don't want to go behind the bars with these guys and do wrong things. If you see someone doing something in the wrong, it's up to you to step up. It doesn't matter what rank that officer is. It's your job to either stop the situation and report it immediately. The big case that talks about this here to stop the interview is the George Floyd case on one of the officers that was convicted specifically for failing to intervene. This sets legal precedents now influencing correctional policies. They're taking action. If they find this happening, they are taking action on this. And I'm bringing it to you because you may be a new officer and don't know about this intervene, but you know what's right and what's wrong. You're there to learn the new policies and what have you. But if you see something out of the way that's not supposed to happen, it's up to you to report it. Legal consequences can happen, and we don't want that to happen to you. We want every officer to be safe and fair. How should an officer respond if they see the misconduct? Get involved. Say, hey, break it up, get back, bring in assistance. Like I said, junior officers, new officers. You may not know the policy, but you know what's right and wrong, what you can and can't do. Make sure you report it. Documentation is everything. This is just a short video just to give you awareness of the failure to intervene. It's your job to intervene. Once again, if you like the content I'm bringing to you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Once again, I'm Kerry Randall with Beyond the Badge, Inside the Bars. And like always, God bless.
Are you a correction officer that works height security or a detention officer that works height security and you have the extended food port? How many officers have you known in your career gotten assaulted through that port? Put a story down below and let me know about it also. That is one of the reasons I have this as a topic today. I have reviewed several emails over the last couple of weeks from officers getting assaulted or the food port got taken hostage from an inmate. The guillotine flap on the extended food flap or food port, whatever you may call it where you work at, was created to protect you, not the inmate. It was created to protect you. That is why it has two doors. It has a guillotine and a flap. There is no real reason to have both of them doors open. The only two reasons I can think of is to secure the inmate so you can pull him out of the cell, or to unsecure the inmate to put him back in the cell. Other than that, there's no real reason to have both of them opened. When you're feeding, it's very common to watch officers that are in a hurry because they're doing mental health, they're doing medical call-outs, they're doing all kinds of programs, and they're trying to rush to get through this meal and feed these inmates. And they forget that they're in a heightened security dormitory. And what they do is they'll throw the tray in there, close the lid, and open the guillotine, they get the tray. Well, that's where they went wrong. They left the guillotine open. Now it's time to pick up the trays. Now they open the flap, grab the tray, you got the guillotine open, and next thing you know, you got a face full of poop or pee or unknown substance, we like to call it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it, reviewed videos, and talked to other co-officers at other institutions that this has happened to them. Some people say, well, you need to have them both open when you put the property in because they got so much property. No, you're inventorying the property in front of the inmate while you're giving the property back to them. So you're not giving all the property at one time. How else do you know what property you're handing that inmate? You're not giving them a whole pillowcase full of property. You got to know what's in that pillowcase. It's a heightened security dormitory. That's another reason why they got the guillotine flap there. You give them some property, you inventory what you give him, you close the flap, open the guillotine. Once he gets everything out the guillotine, close it back, open the flap, and put the rest of the property through. Some people say it's linens. I got to put their linens in there. I have never seen a blanket at an institution that is too thick it won't fit through the port, okay? Some people says, well, the inmate needs a mattress. Well, you should have inventoried that cell before you put the inmate in there. Did it have a mattress in there when you housed him? If not, you should pull the inmates out, then get the mattress in there settled and make sure everything's settled in that cell. Once again, that is not a reason to have both of them open. The reason for this video is I'm trying to help some people to remember, don't be complacent. Don't be lazy. Don't be in a hurry. Being in a hurry will get you hurt or killed. Or assaulted and have some poop or pee on you. I've been assaulted. I took that shortcut. And I'm here to tell you, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant because we don't know what kind of health environment that inmate had and what they threw on you. It could be some kind of bodily fluid or some sort. I'm here to help you. If you like the content I'm bringing to you, like, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share it and let other people know. Also, for you new officers out there, check out the Foundations of Correctional Excellence, building core skills for correctional officers. You can find that on Amazon. You get it on Amazon Kindle, and you also get it in softback. It's a thin little book here with very important information in there, and it shows you new officers what you should be doing and what you got yourself into when you got hired on. It talks about safety, communications, use of force, restraints, inmates' rights and grievances, work in diverse populations, ethics and professional conduct, failure to intervene, continued journey in corrections. It's all in this book here. A few dollars can help you be a successful career in corrections if you're new officers. Spread it. Let them know. Once again, I'm Terry around here beyond the badge, inside the bars. I'm here to keep you safe. And if there's something you want me to share with you, put it in the comments below also. Keep watching. Let's grow the channel. And God bless every one of you guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Terry around here with Beyond the Badge, inside the bars. Today we're going to talk about September of 1971. What happened in the prison system in New York, 1971. But right now we're going to talk about Byrna, where you can get that inside the bars.store.
Introducing the Ungun, the non-lethal self-defense platform. Lightweight and simple to use. It uses an easy-to-load 5-round magazine and is powered by an 8-gram CO2 cartridge. Byrna launchers fire a 68 caliber chemical-filled projectile using a patented pull-pierce technology where the CO2 canister is only punctured on the first trigger pull, meaning your launcher is always at the ready. It's capable of incapacitating an attacker for over 30 minutes and is accurate and effective at over 60 feet. It requires no permits, no background checks, and is interstate travel friendly. With Byrna, you will be prepared to defend.
All right, guys, we'll go back to September 1971, New York, Attica. It was the echo of the weights of the injustice, rebellion, brutal suppression. Attica was not just a riot. It was a systematic of events that shook the foundations of the American prison system. What led to the uprising? What transpired beyond the walls? And why did it leave so many scars? Well, I'll tell you, Attica was like a pressure cooker. Had so many problems. Over the years, it finally cooked over. First of all, it was at 150% capacity. It was overcrowded. It was full of racism. And the conditions was horrible to live in. Vast majority of these inmates were either Latino or black. They faced systematic abuse. Parole hearings were farce. The males were censored, and the basic necessities were scarce. I'm talking about one roll of toilet paper a month, one shower a week. Imagine a system designed to break the human spirits, a place where hope was a luxury a few could afford. Now, the day after Jackson's death, inmate Jackson, at least 700 Attica inmates participated in a hunger strike of his honor. Now, the spark, a series of small incidents. Well, these series of small incidents kept escalating the tension in the facility. The death of the fellow inmate of Bobby Jackson, who was a prominent figure within the prison, and whose death sparked a widespread of unrest. And with the feeling of being ignored, the sheer weight of injustice, like I stated, it wasn't one single event, but the accumulations of years of systematic abuse that happened at Attica. Now, September 9th of 1971 is when it started going down. This is when the prisoners seized control, took hostages. They issued a list of demands, a desperate plea for basic human rights. They wanted better medical treatment. They wanted religious freedom. And they wanted to end the physical abuse that they endured while being in Attica. But on top of that, while they're rioting, they was asking for amnesty for their actions. Now, they wanted to be treated like men, not animal, that they was being treated as. Now, for 4 days, they negotiated and the negotiations drug on. The world watched as the inmates held their ground, a defiant stand against a system that had stripped them from their dignity. They created a makeshift society within those prison walls. They attempted to build something resembling the justice system. Now, what happened was then the state responded. Governor Rockefeller, he was asked several times to show up and speak to these inmates, and he refused. Now, he also refused the negotiation. He ordered the retaking of the prisons. And what did he do? He ordered it by brutal assaults, a storm of tear gas dropped on them with helicopters, and gunfire. The official death toll was 43, including 39 killed by state police and prison guards, inmates and hostages alike. Now, the aftermath was a wave of shock and outrage. They created a commission. They called the commission the McCabe Commission. What they did was they was appointed to investigate this riot. They found that the state's response was excessive and unjustified of what they did. The wounds of Attica ran deep, exposing a raw nerve of racism, tension, and systematic injustice within the American prison system. Now, the consequences was some reform, a few concessions. But the fundamental problem persists. Attica became a symbol of rallying cry for the prison reform, which ultimately started happening throughout the years. It forced the nation's conversations about the treatment of incarcerated people, a conversion that tragically continued to this day. However, to this day, things has gotten much, much better for the incarcerated inmates. It's not as bad on them like it was back then. There's been a lot of changes. We have added a lot of education programs, different things like that. Attica wasn't just a riot. It was a rebellion. It was a desperate cry for recognition in humanity and the respect of a brutal reminder of the power dynamics at play. The scars at Attica remains a testimony to the enduring struggles for the justice within the walls of the prison system. If you like the content I bring to you, please like and share and subscribe to the channel. Let's spread the word and help it grow. And I'm going to continue to start talking about different stories that happen in the prison community. Once again, I'm Kerry Randall, inside the bars, or should I say, beyond the badge, inside the bars. And you can pick up products like the Burna on insidethebars.store. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Kerry Randall here with Beyond the Badge, Inside the Bars. Today we're going to address a serious issue in corrections. Why is it dangerous for officers to pass items from cell to cell? It might seem harmless. It might be a harmless favor, a pen, a snack, or even a phone number. But in correction environment, that simple act can have a serious consequences. Let's break this down. It starts out as a favor, is what happens. And it usually begins as a small favor. And it makes sense. Officer, can I get a pen to write my daughter? Or can you hand me that book? It seems innocent. You want to help. But what officers don't realize, this is often the first step in an attempt to manipulate you. The one favor becomes leverage. And the moment you cross the line, you compromise your authority. Now, the real danger is, let's talk about what can happen. Contraband smuggling, that pen, it might contain drugs. Who knows? Gang notes, or even makeshift weapons. Manipulation and coercion. Once you've helped once, you've shown that you're vulnerable. The inmate may push for more or even threaten to report you. Security breaches. Untracked items can disrupt routine, escalate tension, or even lead to violent incidences. And most important, the loss of credibility. The word spreads fast in the correction system. Other inmates see you as compromised, so do your peers. What happens when you get caught? Well, let's start off with an example. You're a new officer here. This canteen day, you're in confinement unit. They're passing the canteen out. You're done. You go back to the officer station. Maybe you go to another wing and pass the canteen out. You got fishing lines going left and right. They're fishing canteen from one cell to another. Now you're the new guy. Sergeant's going to say, hey, the sergeant will say, hey, officer over there, you're the new guy. Go and do that check on that round right there. It's time for a 30-minute check. Let's go do that check. You get out there, you see that bag of chips coming out fishing line, the inmate says, hey, that's my chips right there, got lost. Can you hand it to me? Well, you don't think nothing else. You pick it up, you put it in a cell. You open a flap, put it in there. OIC comes around. I come around, do a security check. The inmate now says, hey, LT, that officer right there just passed a bag of chips to me, and this was in it. You've been in corrections a while, you've seen a glove, finger filled with contraband. I don't know what's in there. I got to test it. I got test kits to tell me what's in there. The officer just told on you. The inmate just told on you. What if you didn't do it? I don't know, because as an OIC, I got to make my reports. And part of my report telling, I got to redo the cameras. And what did I see? See a bag of chips caught on a fishing line, you hand it to the inmate. All I can believe now is, how you going to tell me you didn't do it? I saw on camera you passed something in there. The inmates are brilliant. They can seal a bag of chips, make it look like a brand new bag. Don't do it, guys. This might not be nothing. It'd be coffee cream, or it could be sugar. Who the hell knows? Nobody tested it. I'm not going to test it until I get to the bin. But anyways, what happens when you get caught? Passing unauthorized items is a violation of policy. That's one. And if that item turns out to be contraband, you're not just facing disciplinary action. You could be facing criminal charges. Like I said, that glove could be full of dope. Many jurisdictions, introduction of contraband to a correctional facility is a felony, even if you don't realize what was inside. The best thing, guys, to do, if you see canteen floating around the floor, don't hand it to nobody. That's missing property. You're responsible for everything you pass, no exceptions. Your job isn't to be liked. It's to be respected and to maintain the safety and control of those dormitories. That means following procedure, logging every item, and never passing anything that hasn't been cleared. You are the line between order and chaos. Don't compromise that. Now, like I said, I'm Kerry around here, beyond the badge, beside the bars. Thank you for watching. If you're just starting out in corrections, remember, the small decisions matter. Once moment of a poor judgment can cost you your badge, your life, and you could even go to jail. Like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Realities and working corrections. We're going to make more videos just like this. This is a new concept of how I'm going to do the upcoming videos. And like always, stay alert, stay professional, and stay safe. And one last thing I like to always say, and God bless.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Kerry Randall here with Beyond the Badge Inside the Bars. Today we're going to talk about a subject that's in this Foundation of Correction Excellence, building core skills for correctional officers. Once again, I'm Kerry Randall. I'm going to give you a little hint what's in this book. We're going to start on chapter 7 because it is mental health awareness. And we're getting in that season of the year when a lot of correctional officers commit suicide and have different kinds of emotions. And we get closer to Christmas, it gets worse. And every year I put a little bit of a video or something out and talks about it. But mental health and wellness protections yourself first. Protect yourself first and keep an eye on your coworkers second. Now, I'll be blunt with you. This job would chew you up if you don't take care of yourself. The stress, the hours, the things you'll see and hear, they don't just stay at the gate when you go home. They follow you. I've seen too many officers burned out, turned bitter, or self-destruct because they ignored their own mental health. How many people have you worked with had some kind of mental health and burnt out, or they start blunting things at you that, you know, you might have worked with this officer 10 years, and 10 years ago you said, oh, he was the coolest officer, and now he's just a pure butt. He might be burned out, stressed. He might have something going on. Check him, ask him what he's got going on. You know, if you want a long career, it's more important a good life outside of it. You got to make your wellness a priority. That means recognizing stress early, finding health outlets, and building support and system. You got to have support systems out there. Get with your friends and family. Talk with them. They'll help you. And there's other places that's out there for you. And one of the important things is you need to recognize the signs of burnout. Burnout doesn't hit all at once. It creeps in shift by shift until one day you realize you just had enough. You been there? I've been there a couple times. over the years. Got to watch for the warning signs. Physical, constant fatigue, headaches, tension, trouble sleeping. If that comes all about there, right there, that's one of the common things that happens when you're burnt out. The next one's emotions, irritable, mood swings, anxiety, depression. Your behavior makes a big difference when you're burnt out also. Calling out sick more often, isolating yourself, drinking or eating too much, losing interest in things you used to enjoy. You just want to sit around the house, lay around the house. You don't want to do nothing. You don't have fun no more. And when you get to this point, you need to look for help. Get with a coworker, get with your family, get with EAP, get a counselor. Don't be ashamed to get a counselor. I got to this point and I asked for help and I got a counselor. And a lot of people talks about, well, if I report this to EAP, they're not going to let me work inside the gates. And that's not absolutely true. That's not true at all. Everything's confidential. The first step in fighting burnout is noticing it. The second step is doing something about it. And like I said, do something about it. Stay active. Exercise is a stress killer. And it doesn't have to be a gym, marathon, walk, bike, lift weights, keep moving. Practice mindfulness, breathing exercise, meditating, just sit in a quiet for 10 minutes to reset yourself. Just sit in a room. Have some low lights on or something. Just sit there, meditate to yourself. Just for 10 minutes, take a break. Eat and sleep right. Junk food and 4 hours of sleep don't mix. In this career, your body and brain needs fuel with the rest. A lot of us works a lot of 16-hour shifts. And I see some of y'all's bags when y'all come through the gate when we're shaking you down. And even myself, we don't have the most healthiest things in those bags. You need to prepare for that shift and put a little bit more healthier food in there instead of candies and snacks and stuff. I'm a big guy. I like to eat. I like candies and stuff. Like I stated before, build you a support network. Lean on your peers. Other officers get it. They know the stress that you carry because they carry it themselves or may have been there. And they may have got treatment or they can help you with their treatment. Use professional help. Like I said, counseling, EAP. It's not a weakness. They're tools. Don't wait until the crisis to use them. Let's get help before we get in the crisis mode. You don't want to be in the crisis mode and go inside the gates. That would get you hurt. And family matters. Don't shut out your loved ones. They may not understand the job fully, but they know you, and let them in. Explain to them what you are experiencing. Work-life balance, yes, it's possible. You'll hear the phrase, leave it at the gate, easier said done. But hear how to get closer. Set boundaries. Don't bring the job home more than necessary. Sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes you got to talk about something to get it off your mind, but don't bring it home every day. It's not an everyday situation. Manage your time. Take your days off seriously. Rest, recharge, and spend time on what really matters to you. Family time. Family time's a big one. Say no sometimes. Overtime is tempting, but money won't fix your health. I ran into that case this week with a coworker. Explained the extended day process. They're working extended day, and they have yet said no to work extended day, and they max out just by their pay period. And they came to me and said, LT, I just absolutely can't do it today. I don't want to get in trouble. Don't get rode up. If you're fulfilling your extended day, yeah, we'll do a report and state that. But guess what? In my comments, I got you covered. I'm going to say how many times you worked that extended day in the last couple of times. What are they going to do? They can't do a whole lot because they can't use you if they kill you. Being stressful. And I know a lot, my administration don't want you to come to work very stressed and tired, exhausted. They want you to take your time off every so often. Some people might say, no, I'm not telling the truth, but it's truthful. I've been there. I know a lot of people in the administration, not just my institution, other institutions. Pro tip for staying strong, recognize when you're slipping and getting help early. Getting help early is always the best. Take your vacation days. They exist for a reason. I'll tell them. And I approve leave. One thing about it is you abuse your leave and use all your vacation time before the end of the year. Guess where you're going to be at the end of the year? You're going to be at work because you ain't got no leave to use. And I don't advise you to do that in case something happens, but that's your leave. That's why most people, when they come to me with leave slips, I don't give them 20 questions. If I got availability, I'm going to let them off. Take it out. Silence and isolations are dangerous in the career. Talk it out. That's what you need to do. Talk it out. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. These are all tips and stuff that's in this book. And I just pretty much went over chapter 7. And to close his thoughts, as corrections is demanding no questions, but the officers who last aren't the ones who grind themselves down to dust. They're the ones who find balance, lean on support, and protect their mental health like their life depends on it. Because here's the truth. It does. Your life depends on it. Your family depends on it. Your coworker depends on it. Your friends depends on it. If you like the content I'm bringing to you, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Let's get this channel moving. Let's get it growing. And once again, this book right here is called Foundations of Corrections of Excellence, Building Core Skills for Correctional Officers. You get it on Amazon. It comes in the Kindle. You got it on paperback. I got a couple other little books that you can look at. It's basically books to help people. Because there's not a lot of correctional books that helps the officers. And the few I got out there are there to help you. They help me. And some of it's the tips that I have learned over the years. And I got a lot of years in. I got a few more to go before I can retire. But I don't want to see my coworkers hurt or killed in line of duty because of something they did in complacency. Once again, if you like the channel, like, share, subscribe, put a comment below, and let me know how you feel about the video. Thank you again, and God bless.
Oh, did you know that over 70% of inmates in Florida prisons are affiliated with a gang? That's right. In the Sunshine State, prison gangs are not just a minor issue. They're a massive part of life. Now, stick tuned and let's find out more. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about the world of prison gangs in the state of Florida. These organizations has a tremendous influence behind bars, and the secret they hold are shocking as they are dangerous. So stick around as we uncover what really is going on in the shadow of the Florida correctional facilities. Florida prison gang presents an enormous challenge for both the inmates and the prison system itself. First off, let's talk about the violence. Gangs often rule through fear and intimidation, leading to brutal fights or even murders. This creates an environment where safety is non-existent for many inmates. But it doesn't stop there. The drug trade is rampant within these walls. Gangs control the flow of drugs, making it incredibly difficult for authorities to maintain order. Inmates often find themselves caught up in these dangerous cycles and forced either to join a gang for their protection or risk of being targeted by them. Moreover, these gangs are exerting control over their members, dictating everything from daily activities to whom they can associate with. The power dynamic complicates the rehabilitation efforts and leaves many inmates trapped in a cycle of crimes, of violence that extends long after the prison, long after they leave the prison system. Now, while you're out there watching, liking, let's go out there and subscribe to the channel. Let's grow it. Let's build this channel and make it grow. And we'll learn more about correctional facilities and some other items in the near future. Now let's take a closer look at the history and structure of these gangs. Many of Florida prison gangs has rooted that trace back for decades. They often start with a few individuals who bands together for protection. Over time, these groups grow in numbers and influences establish a hierarchy structure that mirrors the street gangs. Key players within these gangs include leaders who make the important decisions and enforcer who carries out the dirty work. Interestingly, many of these gangs have their own code of conduct and rituals that they follow, which helps maintain loyalty among all their members. Gangs like the Latin Kings, the Bloods, the Crips have established a strong hood within Florida prisons. They utilize a combination of intimidations and economic control to maintain their power, often leveraging drug trafficking and extortion. We're going to start talking about the Bloods. They are known for the iconic red colors. They're one of the largest gangs in the Florida prison system. Originally formed on the West Coast, the Blood have established a powerful presence in Florida prison system. They often clash with their rival, the Crips. They are known for their blue color. What is interesting is how these gangs often recruit. They capitalize on vulnerable of the new inmates during reception. It's all about survival. They offer protection and a sense of belonging in the intimidating environment. Next, we're going to touch on the original gangs, just like the Latin Kings in the MS-13. The Latin Kings, primarily based in Latino communities, focus on loyalty and a culture of pride. They often engage in drug trafficking and violence to maintain their influences. Did you know that the MS-13 has been linked to various crimes, not just in Florida, but across the nation? The brutal tactics have earned them the notorious reputation. Let's not forget about the white supremacy gang. Groups like the Aryan Brotherhood and the United Skins operate in Florida prisons and are known for their violent racial ideology. They pose a significant threat, often involved in hate crimes and drug distribution. So what the impact on these gangs have on prison life? For starters, they shape inmates' interactions. Non-affiliations often place inmates at risk, making it a dangerous gang for alliances. This creates a divide among the inmates that can quickly escalate into violence. One shocking story that highlights the extent of gang influences comes from a prison riot that occurred just a few years back. The tension between the rival gangs escalated, leading to an all-out brawl that left several inmates injured and one dead. This incident revealed just how far gangs can go to assert dominance and settle disputes. It wasn't just a random fight. It was calculated to send a message. Prison officials were overwhelmed and it took hours to regain control. The aftermath led to a heightened security and stricter regulations, but it also demonstrated the deep-rooted issues that gang creates within the prison system. So let's wrap things up in Florida prison gangs are all pervasive issues that affects not only inmates involved, but also the entire prison system. Their influences lead to violence, drug trafficking, and culture of fear that complicates rehabilitation efforts. And understanding their powers is crucial if we want to address the challenges they pose. Now, what do you think about the influences of gangs in Florida prisons? Drop a comment below. And if you're interested in learning more about behind the bars, check out videos that I have posted. We explore the daily routines of inmates. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking insights. Now, I want to bring you some more information in the near future about other gangs, and we will probably do some individual gangs on one segment. Now, once again, let's not smash that like and subscribe button down there and share the channel. Let's grow and learn more about the correctional facilities. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you soon in the near future. I'm Kerry Randall. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some tips we could use for new officers to be successful. Some of these things I'm going to bring up is one reason or another some of the officers are leaving. And these are tips that we should start telling the new officers. I'm going to start off with, it's nothing personal. When you go behind those gates and lock yourself behind there, you're in the prison walls. There is nothing inside those walls those inmates need to know about your personal business. Many people don't stress the importance of separating their job from themselves. So number one, nothing in those gates those people need to know about yourself. The second biggest thing that the new correctional officer need to know is keep up with your count. Very important. It's number one thing that we do. Keeping the inmates in the gates. Keeping them accountability where they're at. You need to know at all times where your inmates at. Are they at a call out? They're in medical? Are they in education? Where are these inmates at? At shift change, when the new officer comes and relieves you, let them know how many inmates you have in the building and how many inmates you have out and where they're at. It's accountability. It's your job. Know where these inmates are at. Number three, some of them seems very friendly, but you need to know inmates are not your friend. It's an easy trap to be fell into.
Normally when a friendly inmate comes to you, they want something. Starts out with maybe a pencil, a colored pencil. Hey, can I have those papers? And then they'd be downing a duck. Next thing you know, you'd be bringing things inside the gate. Do not let these inmates manipulate you. Once again, they are not your friends. Don't let negativity get the best of you, especially if you work in confinement. Learning about confinement, working confinement, these inmates could be the rough. They are going to talk crap to you, call you names. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes the names are very hilarious. And where they come up with these names, no clue. But they are going to talk crap about you. And they're going to let you know a lot of things. And like one other thing I tell staff, don't get your honey where you make your money. If you were a 20 outside the gates, you are a 20 inside the gates. Do not let them convince you you are the most beautiful person on earth. They want something and you have it. Don't give it to them. New officers find themselves, they also afraid to ask questions. Ask questions about the job. Why did you do it this way? What is the actual policy? Is this the policy that we're following? You need to know what you're doing. And this officer's probably been there for years, which makes listening very important. Don't assume you know everything. We hire a lot of new officers. I don't know if it's like that at your facility. At my facility, we have a lot of military people we do hire. And we do appreciate them serving our country. One thing about it, you know it too. When you come work for the department, we teach you how to use firearms our way, not the military's way. And when you get out there and learn, do not try to teach the instructor how to operate the machines that we offer and the firearms. You are there to learn it our way, which will be your way, and the way we're going to be using it with the department. Just remember, you're there to learn. You're going to screw up on the first day, first couple of days, and every day you're going to learn something. If something gets by you, hey, you just learned something. If you want some more tips like this, share and like, and comment below. If you think we should make some more videos about training, tips, what have you, also put a comment below. And don't forget the most important part is to subscribe so you can get more content like this. And thank you for watching.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Kerry Randall here with Beyond the Badge Inside the Bars. Today I'm going to talk about something that occurred while I was doing a search. If you're one of these officers, do not be one of these officers, because that's a quick way to get people upset. If you like this channel, the content I'm bringing to you, please like and share, and put a comment below. If you have a topic you want to talk about, put it below also, or if you have questions or concerns. Now, I'm here, I like to talk to people about corrections, what we should be doing, what we should not be doing to help our co-workers, because we work in a dangerous environment. The other day, I was involved in a search. Myself and a couple of the officers that works for me were in this dormitory doing searches. In the meanwhile, doing the searches, we had all the inmates stripped down and taken to the day room. While I'm in the bathroom doing a search, I'm trying to do a very thorough search, and I notice when I stick my head up, I see an inmate watching me through the officer station's windows. Has a direct view. So I keep watching this guy because I want to know what he's watching for, because I'm looking for something particular. And I know it's in this dormitory and I'm going to find it. So as time goes on, I notice another one peeping around in the day room. What crawled me was when I looked around the dormitory after the second or third time this occurred, I was no longer paying attention to the search or paying attention to the inmate that is watching my particular area where I was searching. My concern now is, where is my freaking dorm officer? Why is the dorm officer itself not in the dormitory doing the search with the OIC and the yard sergeants and other people we have involved in this search? Come to find out, this person was sitting happily watching us do all the work from the officer station. So
if you're one of these officers that you're doing a search and not participating in the search, this, that, and the other is your door, you might want to start watching what the other people are doing. You might want to know why the OIC is in a dormitory doing a particular search. This is not the time to sit in officer station and watch everybody do what you should already have done. Now, I got the inmates finally under control, sitting on their seats where they belong, where the officers should have been watching them, doing their job, making sure they're sitting in the day room while we continue with these searches. However, I knew every time I got in a hot area, I saw that one of them would peek their head up. And like I stated, after the third time, that's when I started looking for this officer. So what I did is every time I got in a hot area, I went back in a hot area and I found exactly one of the products I was looking for. Now, the bottom line of this story is, if you are a dorm officer and your OIC walks in, you might want to get with that person and do rounds with them so you know what's going on in the dorms. If they have a complaint or need a concern to be taken with, be with that person. You don't have to be with that person to be a butt kiss or this, that, and the other. They're not to do that to you. The OIC is not there for that. They're there to make sure the dorm is inspection ready in case a visitor or somebody comes through and the inmates are following the rules they're supposed to be following. Because myself, if I walk in your dorm and do my rounds and you're doing a great job, I'm going to compliment you and tell you you're doing a great job. If you need to step it up some, I am going to also tell you to step it up. So the bottom line is, anytime you have a visitor in your dorm, not necessarily has to be an OIC, get with them and find out what's going on. Like I stated before, if you like the content, like, share, put a comment below. If you have another concern, put it down below also. And once again, thanks for watching, and God bless. Good afternoon. I'm Kerry Randall here with Beyond the Badge Inside the Bars. Today, I'm going to talk to the new officers and help you with signs of burnout and explain how you would have burnout at the beginning of your career. You can also find this in the Amazon Kindle or paperback, Burnout Beyond the Walls. And it talks about all kinds of stages of burnout. Talks about the new officers, the mid-career officers, the end-of-the-year career officers. Now, it's a rude awakening in shift cultures. The academy may preach professionalism, ethics, and policy adherence, but the floor has its own culture. Forget what you learn in training. This is what we do here. I know a lot of you new officers hear that all the time. Don't trust anyone, not even the inmates or the staff. Or you're on your own, sink or swim. These are not things we should do with the new officers. We should never tell a new officer any of those. What they learn in the academy is the basis of what they do for the rest of their career. You know this, I know this. Now, your institution might have a different approach to it. The academy don't teach them the wrong way of doing things. The senior officers do, and that can lead to someone get hurt or killed. The academy's there to give them the basis of where they're starting their career. New officers quickly learn that survival often means adapting to unspoken rules. Some of these behaviors are protectives, others are shortcut. Most are born of burnout, hand down like a legend. This creates many rookies' experience as a crisis of identity. Do I do what's right or what's accepted? Can I ask for help without looking weak? Am I already in over my head? These are things that a lot of these new officers are thinking. They're scared to talk to their sergeants and co-officers because they don't want to be intimidated. Burnout thrives where there is confusion, fear, and isolation. Unfortunately, many department offers inadequate onboarding. I've seen that for many years. Now, I'll give you this. Where I'm at, the onboarding has gotten a lot better. They're putting more money in training. Assistant FTOs, field training officers with no standard structure. We need to give these guys structures when they first come to the institution. We need to start the structure and show them how to do the job and how to do the job right. Lack of formal mentorship. Why would I put a new FTO officer with a senior officer with a negative attitude? You are not going to get nothing out of that staff member. You're going to lose them. You need to make sure you put them with a positive, knowledgeable staff member. There's no clear channel or emotion support or feedback. You put them with that negative sergeant, training officer, that's all you're going to get. It's negative, nothing positive. New officers may face trauma, assault, suicide, staff injuries within the first week and are expected to carry as if nothing happened. When no one checks in emotionally, a dangerous message is sent. Suppress it and move on. That's not what we do. If they have been in a traumatic event, get with them, check on them, make sure they're doing all right. If they got injured and got to the outside hospital, call them at the outside hospital and say, hey, I'm checking on Officer so-and-so. They had a traumatic day today. I want to make sure they're all right. And if you're unable to speak to that staff member, tell them, hey, here's my phone number. I give them my home cell phone number so I could talk to that staff member. It's all kinds of trauma. And these are common early burnout triggers, early delusion, realizing that the job is far more political, chaos, and emotionally heavy than expected. Staff hostility and apathy, feeling unwelcome or unsupported by coworkers. I hear that sometimes. Do not put that new officer with me. I'm not going to train him nothing. Well, that's fine. You don't want to do your job? Do you like all the extra overtime? Why do you have that negative attitude? Once again, we go back to, let's try to find us an officer with a positive attitude that that could train these new officers how to do their job. Because you already have lack of confidence as a new officer. Because you don't know what you're doing. You think you may know. You read what you know. The academy taught you what you should know. But if you don't have the experience, you really don't know. Making a mistake and internalizing them as a personal failure. A lot of people will take it as a personal failure. But in this type of business, we learn from our failures. We learn from those failures and move on. Look and see what happened. What did you do wrong? What should I do different? I like to call it the what-if game. We play the what-if game when you're not busy sitting there. Because they pay us when something is expected to happen. We have a lot of downtime. And during that downtime, if you're by yourself or with a coworker, what have you, play the what-if game. What if this scenario happened? What would I do if this happened? How would you handle this situation if this happened? I was thinking about this situation yesterday, and I want to discuss it with you, and let's talk about it in case it happens, because I could see that situation could actually happen in a dormitory like this. In sleep disruption, struggles at night shift, rotating schedules, and long commutes. Well, let me tell you, when I started in this business, we didn't have a lot of long commuters. Most all of my coworkers lived close by. Most of them, I would say, they live 10, 15 minutes away. I have a lot of coworkers now, and a lot of coworkers that works for me on my shift. They're driving an hour away to get to work because our pay raise has went up. But here's the one significant difference. When we went to 12-hour shifts, we had more days off. So they didn't mind driving the hours. And then legislation changed it back to 8.5-hour shifts. And the people realized they like what they're doing. And they're willing to drive that hour. And that hour, and you work an extra shift, 16 and a half hours, and you drove an hour to go back home, you done spent most of your day awake. You're only going to get like 4 hours sleep if you get that. And if you're like me, you're tired, and you can't get relaxed, you're not going to get much sleep at all before your next shift. And those are things we need to talk about with our new rookies. And we need to address it. It's very important for our new officers to understand. If you're a new officer and you have some of these concerns, get with your shift supervisor, what have you. And to say, hey, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere with this officer, what have you. Now, you don't have to write everything up, put it on paper, this, that, and other, unless it's be a consistent thing. But talk with your training officer, whoever's training you. Because home life conflicts, strained relationships due to a change in personalities, irritable and emotional withdrawal. That's an important key on that job. I've been doing this about 17 years now. And that's one of my advices I always gave to people, that this job would change you in different ways. And you withdraw from it. And we talk about leave it at the gate. Sometimes it's hard. If you have this type of business around you like I do, there's a good chance that your spouse and girlfriend may actually work for the same department you do. And it's kind of hard to leave that at the gate. And sometimes you do. And when you leave it out the gate, especially when I did a lot of close custody, death row, and things like that, I had a lot of excitement and stuff going on. When I got to the house, I didn't want to talk about work at all and this, that, and other. And I withdrew from my family, didn't know it, and neglected them and not realize it. And what makes me upset about the situation, and I'm telling you new officers that it can happen quickly as a new officer, but as an older officer, I should have known better and been more alert, but it got me too. It cost me pretty much my family. My living situation's changed now because I neglected my spouse, and now we're no longer together. But we're still good because we co-parent. And those kind of things you need to watch out for, because you do get distance. And you got kids, you want to spend time with your kids, do things with your kids. Don't put too much distance away. Just put whatever struggles you may have during that day, try to drop it the best you can, and get with that family and spend time with them, do something. Go out and take little trips every now and then with spend more time with your family and stuff like that. And like I said, I neglected it for a little while, and it burnt me. It got me. It really did. And I regret it. And I'm telling you that of my life story to let y'all know that's a big key point, especially for new officers. They don't know what type of business they got into. And that is one type of burnout. If you want to know more about burnout, look up Kerry Randall on Amazon. Pick up this book. It's on Kindle, softback. I have another one that talks about other things. I got little training manuals. It's for you to learn on, to get help with, because there's not a lot of materials out there to learn from. Some people think, oh, it don't make sense. They teach you everything in the academy. I try to put this book together to make it easy to read and understand, like my level, and how you want to show newer officers. And it's good for the senior officers too, because it gets you back to your roots and learning things. And I want y'all to be successful and don't be in danger to yourself at work, because complacency, like I said, I had other books. I have one that talks about all kinds of complacencies and how complacency will get you hurt and stuff like that. But as a new officer, you start getting stressed out. As a new officer, you get complacent real quick, like, and stuff like that. That was just one example of a burnout on new officers. Pick it up, read it, learn from it. If you got any comments, concerns, or questions about Burnout Beyond the Walls, put it in the comments below, and like and share. Let's grow the channel for more informational purposes. If you like my content, if you haven't heard about Mr. Williams with Just Corrections, look that up too, because he's awesome. He's got some good stuff out there. Watch it. Me and him's on the same playing field. Pro administration, we don't want to bash what we do for a living. We're very positive, upbeat, and we want to help you guys. And that's where I stand on that. And he does a wonderful job. Check him out also. And don't forget, like, share, comment, and hit that bell for new videos coming out. And thank you for taking your time, and God bless you guys.
I'm Kerry Randall here with Beyond the Badge, Inside the Bars. The reason we're talking today, we're going to talk about failure to intervene during abusive behavior or activity or excessive use of force. Why am I bringing that to you? A failure to intervene occurs when a correctional officer witnesses another officer abusing or using excessive force on an inmate and does not step in to de-escalate or stop the situation or report the misconduct. Why does it matter? It's legal consequence. Under federal law 42 U.S. Code 1983, officers can be held personally liable for civil suits for violation of this. There's a lot of things you need to think about. You don't want to go behind the bars with these guys and do wrong things. If you see someone doing something in the wrong, it's up to you to step up. It doesn't matter what rank that officer is. It's your job to either stop the situation and report it immediately. The big case that talks about this here to stop the interview is the George Floyd case on one of the officers that was convicted specifically for failing to intervene. This sets legal precedents now influencing correctional policies. They're taking action. If they find this happening, they are taking action on this. And I'm bringing it to you because you may be a new officer and don't know about this intervene, but you know what's right and what's wrong. You're there to learn the new policies and what have you. But if you see something out of the way that's not supposed to happen, it's up to you to report it. Legal consequences can happen, and we don't want that to happen to you. We want every officer to be safe and fair. How should an officer respond if they see the misconduct? Get involved. Say, hey, break it up, get back, bring in assistance. Like I said, junior officers, new officers. You may not know the policy, but you know what's right and wrong, what you can and can't do. Make sure you report it. Documentation is everything. This is just a short video just to give you awareness of the failure to intervene. It's your job to intervene. Once again, if you like the content I'm bringing to you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Once again, I'm Kerry Randall with Beyond the Badge, Inside the Bars. And like always, God bless.
Are you a correction officer that works height security or a detention officer that works height security and you have the extended food port? How many officers have you known in your career got assaulted through that port? Put a story down below and let me know about it also. That is one of the reasons I have this as a topic today. I have reviewed several emails over the last couple of weeks from officers getting assaulted, or the food port got taken hostage from an inmate. The guillotine flap on the extended food flap or food port, whatever you may call it where you work at, was created to protect you, not the inmate. It was created to protect you. That is why it has two doors. It has a guillotine and a flap. There is no real reason to have both of them doors open. The only two reasons I can think of is to secure the inmate so you can pull him out of the cell, or to unsecure the inmate to put him back in the cell. Other than that, there's no real reason to have both of them opened. When you're feeding, it's very common to watch officers that are in a hurry because they're doing mental health, they're doing medical call-outs, they're doing all kinds of programs, and they're trying to rush to get through this meal and feed these inmates. And they forget that they're in a heightened security dormitory. And what they do is they'll throw the tray in there, close the lid, and open the guillotine, they get the tray. Well, that's where they went wrong. They left the guillotine open. Now it's time to pick up the trays. Now they open the flap, grab the tray, you got the guillotine open, and next thing you know, you got a face full of poop or pee or unknown substance, we like to call it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it, reviewed videos, and talked to other co-officers at other institutions that this has happened to them. Some people say, well, you need to have them both open when you put the property in because they got so much property. No, you're inventorying the property in front of the inmate while you're giving the property back to them. So you're not giving all the property at one time. How else do you know what property you're handing that inmate? You're not giving them a whole pillowcase full of property. You got to know what's in that pillowcase. It's a heightened security dormitory. That's another reason why they got the guillotine flap there. You give them some property, you inventory what you give him, you close the flap, open the guillotine. Once he gets everything out the guillotine, close it back, open the flap, and put the rest of the property through. Some people say it's linens. I got to put their linens in there. I have never seen a blanket at an institution that is too thick, it won't fit through the port, okay? Some people says, well, the inmate needs a mattress. Well, you should have inventoried that cell before you put the inmate in there. Did it have a mattress in there when you housed him? If not, you should pull the inmates out, then get the mattress in there settled and make sure everything's settled in that cell. Once again, that is not a reason to have both of them open. The reason for this video is I'm trying to help some people to remember, don't be complacent. Don't be lazy. Don't be in a hurry. Being in a hurry will get you hurt or killed. Or assaulted and have some poop or pee on you. I've been assaulted. I took that shortcut. And I'm here to tell you, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant because we don't know what kind of health environment that inmate had and what they threw on you. It could be some kind of bodily fluid or some sort. I'm here to help you. If you like the content I'm bringing to you, like, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share it and let other people know. Also, for you new officers out there, check out the Foundations of Correctional Excellence, building core skills for correctional officers. You can find that on Amazon. You get it on Amazon Kindle, and you also get it in softback. It's a thin little book here with very important information in there, and it shows you, new officers, what you should be doing and what you got yourself into when you got hired on. It talks about safety, communications, use of force, restraints, inmates' rights and grievances, work in diverse populations, ethics and professional conduct, failure to intervene, continued journey in corrections. It's all in this book here. A few dollars can help you be a successful career in corrections if you're new officers. Spread it. Let them know. Once again, I'm Terry around here beyond the badge, inside the bars. I'm here to keep you safe. And if there's something you want me to share with you, put it in the comments below also. Keep watching. Let's grow the channel.